from the station you count on for local news that matters. This is KARK-4 News at 10.
Days after a man is found guilty of disorderly conduct and open carry case, police in that city suggesting that businesses put up signs like that one you see right there that could deter folks from open carry. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight at 10 o'clock. I'm Bob Clausen. Ken Buffa is back from Bald Knob and shares what is on these signs and what businesses are saying about putting them up in a window. Ken, what do they have to say?
Well, Bob, these signs police say are completely voluntary and encouraged. But some businesses say they don't mind them, and other businesses say they don't need them.
I'm not trying to take people's guns away, but I think we need to be cautious about causing alarm in businesses.
Bald Knob Police Chief Eric Ballantyne sharing what he says is an optional sign businesses can use when it comes to dealing with customers displaying an open carry gun.
I'm not telling you what sign to put on your door, but I suggest, just a suggestion that, that you put something to the fact of, carrying a weapon openly is prohibited. Concealed carry is welcome.
The signs ask customers not to open carry, but welcomes those who conceal and carry.
By putting these signs up, that it only is protecting the business, it's also, protecting the other citizens.
Here it comes.
Houdat Restaurant has all kinds of signs, but says this sign won't be added to their collection.
I don't need it.
The reason Stelly says is because an unwritten policy here he and his customers adhere to.
We don't allow idiots to come with guns. They all respect my business and respect me. It is a mutual respect.
Back in May at this Bald Knob McDonald's, that wasn't the case. Officials say Richard Chambliss was arrested after coming in with an open carried gun. Chambliss telling officials he was exercising rights written in controversial Act 746. He was found guilty for carrying a weapon in disorderly conduct. Chambliss also told police there were no signs saying he could not display his gun. Now businesses, according to Ballantyne, have the option to do so.
So I believe that the concealed carry, being concealed, don't draw the attention to yourself. It don't cause a disturbance, and and you're still protecting yourself.
Chambliss's attorney says he is going to appeal the case, and as for the signs, businesses can print them out themselves or contact police for more info. Bob, back to you.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. Fort Smith police looking for an 18-year-old shooting suspect this evening. Brandon Mathis allegedly shot a man on Grand Avenue shortly before noon. There's his photograph. 28-year-old Gustav Delgado was shot twice during an argument. Delgado is expected to recover. Good news there. Mathis had been out on bond on a previous gun charge. He is considered, as you can imagine, to be armed and dangerous. If you know where he is, contact police. In a KARK-4 News update, a local judge has agreed to be suspended from the bench with pay after his arrest for domestic battery. The Judicial Discipline and Disability Commission voted for an interim suspension for Cabot District Judge Joe O'Brien. He was arrested last week accused of assaulting his girlfriend when she tried to keep him from driving while under the influence. According to the commission's executive director, the suspension may keep the case from interfering in court business. The Supreme Court will have to approve the suspension, and steps would then be taken to cover his caseload. O'Brien denying the allegations. And new tonight at 10 o'clock, a cross-county judge under investigation after accusations that he misused his office for personal gain. There have been allegations that the judge allowed certain defendants to do personal work for him in return for reducing fines or community service. The Judicial Discipline and Disability Commission here confirms the allegations against Judge Joe Beckham are on its radar. We'll keep you updated on that.
This agency did open an investigation involving Judge Bachman several months ago, and at the point where we discovered things that might be criminal in nature is when we turned it over to the appropriate authorities.
That's tomorrow night on KARK-4 News at 5. Marcy Manley will have more on the investigation into Bachman and where it stands in Cross County right now, and also what the judge has to say about being accused of misusing his position as an elected official. The director of the FBI stopping in the natural state today, touching on several issues, including terrorism at home. KARK-4's David Cotton spoke with James Comey today, and he has more. David, what do you have to say?
Well, Bob, the director made his second official stop in Little Rock this afternoon since taking over the FBI back in 2013. In his press meeting, he spoke to us about the challenges ISIS presents to his agency as well as local police. He says ISIS is heavily recruiting potential extremists on Twitter, keeping the FBI busy in every single state, including right here in Arkansas. While he declined to mention any particular investigation, he says they are actively looking into each case dealing with Arkansans. He says it's up to the public, though, to help keep an eye out for any strange behavior.
What ISIL is trying to do, again through social media, is inspire people to come to their so-called caliphate, and if they can't come, to kill where they are.
This was just one stop on his tour of all 56 field offices in the United States. Mr. Comey says it's important to keep and meet face-to-face with local agents to keep these communities safe. Of course, he plans on making another stop in Little Rock next year, unless, of course, he's needed sooner. Bob?
All right, David, thanks very much. State police are investigating after a 5-year-old is found dead inside of a home. McGeehan State Police responded to a welfare check call in the city. They discovered the child inside the house. The child's mother, Catherine Warren, arrested on first-degree murder charges. Warren's being held in a $500,000 bond. Formal charges are expected to be filed soon in that case. A Little Rock neighborhood on edge this evening, and as we head into the weekend after a string of burglaries. Kat and Carl Hills say that they found their back door kicked in and several electronics stolen from their home Wednesday afternoon. The couple describes their neighborhood as quiet and family-friendly. While the thief got away with their TVs and PlayStation or electronics, the Hills say that they are very thankful they still have each other.
Yeah, we're missing a PlayStation and some electronics, but we're all fine. So we feel happy about that.
So far, police have not made an arrest, but one victim did note a blue BMW X3 they believe the suspects drove off in. Make note of that. As Governor Asa Hutchinson addressed problems with the state's foster care system and inmate reentry program earlier this week, one foster parent says the Department of Human Services needs more help than what the governor is offering. Rachel Cox has been a foster parent for 4 years and housed 20 foster kids in that time. She also says that her phone is constantly ringing, asking for her to take in more children. She says the caseworkers keep the system going.
When the community invests in a caseworker, they're investing in not just that child's life, but an entire family.
According to Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families, it would cost $8 million to properly employ the number of caseworkers needed in the state of Arkansas. We are your local election headquarters. The man who made a career in the medical field and is now hoping to become the next president of the United States, visiting the natural state today. At his rally, Ben Carson touched on a variety of topics, from cutting back government regulations and spending. And while he had some cheers, he also acknowledged that you may not agree with everything from any of the candidates for president.
You know, the key is not to agree on everything, because we don't all agree. If you want to see somebody, if you want a candidate who agrees with you on everything, go look in the mirror.
It's been said that his presence here is indicative of Arkansas's growing political clout. Today, Carson will probably come back, is what he had to say. Nearly 2 weeks into the start of the new school year, some students getting letters saying that they are moving now to a new school. Because education matters, Stephanie Sharp explains how families are somewhat furious after their 5-year-old was considered to be an overflow student.
I pulled out the letter and I read it, and to my disbelief, and I'm going to tear up, because it's so not right how they treated her.
The letter Lillian Brents is talking about. This one, the one her 5-year-old granddaughter brought home from school on her unexpected last day at Landmark Elementary.
I read the letter and I was almost in tears. They are really kicking her out of Landmark.
Holly Brents' daughter and other kindergartners and 5th graders at Landmark were overflow students, a title Lillian doesn't like.
They've called these students that they have removed from their school overflow. She's not overflow.
PCSSD says according to state law, no more than 28 elementary students are allowed in one classroom. When the number is beyond that, the students, based on when they enroll, must be sent elsewhere. The district says it waits until the 8th day of school to decide.
It's just not fair, you know, it's just not. And she was so confused. She thought she was in trouble.
The district says they use every effort to inform parents of the student shuffle. But Holly and Lillian say they were never informed until it was brought home.
We had no clue. No clue. We were floored.
That's just my community. I've grown up here. I don't understand why she would be the one getting kicked out.
That was Stephanie Sharp reporting. For the Brents, they took a 5-year-old out of PCSSD and put her in East End District. The district says they also inform parents that this may happen when they first enroll. They also say this is logistical and happens in nearly every school in the district. Still ahead tonight on KARK-TV News at 10 o'clock. A splash of color, a little sunshine coming downtown. We've got more in a competition to grace that area with art. But first,
it's about opportunity. It's about opportunity for a high school student in this region to have a better opportunity to become a medical doctor.
We have more on Northeast Arkansas College's push to make the practice of medicine more available in that area.
You know, we have had a string of very nice late August days. And you know, when the weatherman says that, those number of days are going to come to an end. So get out and enjoy the next one or so. 88 the high temperature in Little Rock today after starting at 63. We'll let you know when real August weather arrives and if there's a chance of rain with that in just a couple minutes.
Now from the station you count on for local news that matters. This is KARK 4 News at 10 in high definition with Bob Clausen, Ashley Katz, Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan, and Aaron Peters with the Razorback Nation Report.